Hey there, and welcome to a new League of Legends video. And today I want to talk about how to win more games in lower ELO without getting better at League of Legends. It sounds crazy, but there are actually 5 things I want to talk about which work exactly like that. So while we're having this little conversation about this topic, I put up some recording from one of my games today and to have something for your eyes as well. So let's get into this. The first thing I want to talk about is very generic, and you probably have already heard about it, but it's keeping up a positive mental attitude, in short, PMA. What I want to put out with that is if you want to climb, if you want to get to a higher ELO, it's really important that you only go there when you're having the feeling that you're performing well, that you're actually able to believe in your person, that you can win games, that you're actually able to win a game even if the beginning goes really badly. You really have to consider that ranked games can be really rough. They can be like pure hysteria. They can be like the biggest monkey houses you'll ever been in. But it's really important that, yeah, well, you gotta believe in yourself and you gotta be honest with yourself if you're performing really at your full potential right now, or if you just want to play some League and because you like to play League. So you gotta learn to find the difference between that if you're really out to climb. I mean, if you don't mind losing some LP from time to time, you don't have to go like that. But well, I just over exaggerated a bit because this video is about how to win as much as possible and how to really improve your win rate when playing ranked. So a positive mental attitude is really important. It's really important that you are able to withstand the ferocity of all the toxicity and the trolls out there you will meet when you play ranked. And it's really honestly not easy to stay positive in this environment. And it's okay to be not able to because you had a hard day, you had a lot of stress during the work today, or anything. Maybe you're a bit ill, maybe you slept not good. Take these things into consideration. They are weighing you down. You will play worse. And it's happening. It happened to me a lot. And I wasn't paying enough attention to myself. And I played really badly. And this happens to me from time to time. But be honest with yourself. Try to stay positive and try to believe in yourself when you play ranked. It really improves a lot. So there's nothing more to say about that topic. I guess there are a lot of other people who can talk about this really good. But I want to get straight up to the next point, and this also demands no skill from you. It's just simply keep an eye out for successful players on your team. If there's anybody getting the first blood on your team, if there's anybody going 2-0 during the first 5 minutes, even if you died already 2 or 3 times on your lane, this one person can be your key to success. If you notice that somebody's strong on your team, follow them. Follow their plays. They're strong. They seem to have a good decision making. Sometimes they have not, but well, successes don't come by accident. Unless the person was deceived. But usually success is the result of good decision making. So if you see somebody who's good on your team, follow them. I point this out so strictly because I'm somebody who was pretty hard stuck in silver a long time. Then I was pretty hard stuck in gold a long time. And during the last preseason, I finally managed to achieve platinum. So, well, I've been there for a while, for quite a while. So what I've noticed is that a lot of people perform bad in their lane, then they get angry about the jungler, then they get angry about the mid lane, then they get angry about the team because they get no help, and they totally don't see that their lane was crushed, and in the meantime, I don't know, the bot lane was getting super fed because the jungler said, hey, if our top lane is getting crushed, I'm gonna help out this bot lane, and this ADC is 3-0-0. And meanwhile, somebody on the top lane is super angry, super mean to his team, blaming and cursing the whole time, and not following his team anymore. Keeps dying and dying and dying, and the super strong early from the bot lane begins to get less and less important. So this top laner actually threw the game, not by getting crushed in lane. This can happen to anybody. This will happen to anybody. This is part of the game. But this one person just threw the game with decisions he made after his lane got crushed, and he didn't decide to follow his winning lane. That's why I point this out so strictly, because if you get crushed, keep an eye out for the successful people. They can get the game back into your favor. Rotate to the lane whenever you can. Whatever. Follow them, try to help them, try to get some assists, try to kill steal them, whatever. Try to get some gold from their success. And this brings out two really good things. First, you get your success back. And second, this one successful guy maybe was pretty anxious about your performance. And suddenly you keep following him, suddenly you keep helping him and amplifying his success. This will strengthen the morale of your team. This is really important, especially if you're losing. So follow the successful people on your team. Keep an eye out, especially if you're having a bad game. This really makes you better without performing better with your champion. I mean, all this stuff I'm talking about is worthless without mechanics, that's for sure, but I don't want to talk about mechanics in this video. So, on to the next point. I think there's everything said about that. Point 3. Forgive mistakes. It's really important. Bad plays happen. Everybody of us had these situations where we were like, yeah, we're gonna get that, there's no oh fuck. And then you suddenly end up into the enemy turret because that dude flashed when you went into there with your Maokai grab or whatever. Bad plays happen. Really bad situations happen to the best players. The fail flash, whatever. A lot of people tend to get really aggravated if something like that happens. And then the chat goes like, this Maokai, this blah blah blah. And then suddenly the morale breaks apart and, well, just don't be mad at your team if they do bad stuff. If you can, have a giggle about it, laugh about it if you can, and, well, I try to take these things with humor whenever I can. Because I feel like there's no worth in being mad about situations which just passed a moment ago, because you can't change them at all. And don't be that guy who loses his faith because somebody does a bad play once. Don't flame them. Maybe be a bit more conservative next time if they baited you into death. I tend to do that, but don't mistrust them only because they fucked it up once. If the idea was good, but just simply countered by somebody leaping in who wasn't there, it's not really his fault. Well, it's not really important whose fault a mistake was. You're a team. You're into this together. You'll either win together or lose together. End of the story. So, forgive mistakes. And let's get into the next point. One thing which is really important, and I often see poorly performed in lower ELO, is something I want to call the team flow. So I'll try to explain it with an example. So let's say one person in your team does a Baron call during a situation where it's just simply damn risky to do it. Just like this fight here just happening. I took this fight while it was really risky to do so, but, well, I took it. So what happens here is our whole team collapses on them, and while first it looks like a really bad situation, Leona goes down and all the enemies are still alive, by our team interacting with this situation, we're getting a double here. And it's already 2 for 1. That's team flow happening right there. It happens to me a lot that some people, let's say like the Annie, just say, no, this is a terrible situation, retreat, 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 and then they just run away and let you die out there and behave like, well, it was your own fault that you got caught out there, while they were standing right next to you and, well, also able to take the risk and try it. I mean, some calls are just straight out suicide, but if 4 people of your team decide to go suiciding, hell, go with them. Don't stand back there and be the smart-ass lecturing them about their mistake with this decision. You're totally destroying the team flow. Sometimes you gotta see bad decisions through. If your team wants to take this bad decision, sometimes you can be the one person who makes a difference. And if you don't try, you'll never find it out. And besides from that, you can't do anything alone. If these 4 people just decide to die out there, or 3 people, and you're out there alone defending the base against 4 people, if they all stand under the turret, you can't get close. You'll just die. So you might as well went with them and try to do your best. So I just point this out because I noticed a lot that I've seen so much discussions in lower to mid ELO games about some call and why to take it or not take it, and then they were talking, and meanwhile the Baron was already down. So it's really not cool in this game to waste time with discussions or smart-assing around. If your teammates want to play it like that, try to support them the best, even if you know better. Even if you know that it's a terrible call, well, just play it out. You can't go against all these monkeys at once. Try to make the best out of a bad situation and try to stay alive while doing such things. I mean, keep your head while following a bad call. Even if you're just getting 1 kill out of a situation and then running away, even if the objective gets stolen or the rest of your team just dies, hell, you at least got 1 kill. If you just stood back there and kept talking, you would have just tilted your team and achieved nothing. So follow the team flow, even if it's a bad flow. And especially in low ELO, you will see a lot of bad team flow, because it's just how it is. But try to make the best out of it, and don't work against your team. You only have one. Even if they're really arrogant schmucks, well, it is like it is. You're stuck with these people for the next 30 to 60 minutes. That's something you gotta accept. And I see a lot of success by doing so. And while I shake my head a lot about a lot of decisions I have to play through in lower ELO, but most of the time I would say it's a 60-40. 60% of the time it goes really well, and 40% it's really horrible. But at the end of the day, if you're taking it with humor again, and giggle with your teammates about let's not do that again, this was fun, not do that again, or something like that, put it into your own words. Usually the most people will just accept that their idea was bad and next time they have to do it better. Sometimes that happens too. But if your dudes are toxic as fuck and already tilted beyond recognition, well, it is like it is. Try to make the best out of bad situations, because throws happen. These guys you're fighting against are also silver or gold or bronze ELO, and they will make mistakes too, and they have the same kind of issues going on their team as well. One failed Baron Smite can wreak havoc on the morale of the enemy team, which was winning, and suddenly really funny stuff happening. But yeah, this is enough spoken about the team flow, I'd say. I wanted to put into this topic a few minutes more, because I feel like this is something which is not too obvious and not too common to go with bad decisions and try to see them through. But I feel like it really is worth pointing it out a lot. So let's go to the last point, and probably the most important point. Um, it's really important that you just keep an eye out for your own game and let bad players on your team perform badly and still try your best. A lot of people waste their time on watching their poor performing teammates die and then making jokes of it or whatever. Even if you're just looking there, you're getting distracted by that. Some people do that and then they spam shit in chat and whatever. It's really not cool. And it's not helping anybody. Keep your own game in focus. Ask yourself, what can I do in this situation? What profit can I take from my teammate performing horribly? Maybe you're having some dude overextending all game long and getting killed solo every time he does something. He goes 1v3, 1v4, no matter what. You know what, guys? You could be the one being at the opposite end of the map pushing in a turret while these monkeys chase your Nessus down the top lane. You can make really good things happening out of poor performing teammates. Or let's say somebody is doing the solo trip and somehow manages to run away for like 10 seconds. You can go there and kill people. It's really interesting what things can happen if you start taking mistakes more objectively and trying to scavenge on them. It's really not easy, but at least try to not give a fuck about people performing horrible on your team and just do your own thing. They're not important at the end, and well, the point is, I've won several games during my 7 years of League of Legends experience 4v5. I've won several games with people just being 112 and 0 or something like that. I've been there. We've did that. The point is, this game is designed in a manner that you don't necessarily need all 5 people to win the game. 80 carries scale in a manner that they can provide enough damage to kill 5 people alone, if you let them do that. Tanks can have in the late game such insane cooldown reductions that they can create CC for a whole team on their own, in a kind of way. That's over-exaggerating, but what I want to point out is, even if 1 or 2 people on your team are performing super horrible, you can actually still win the game if you're really just following the successful people or having a really good game on your own, or just pushing turrets while the enemies are doing shit while chasing your inting, trolling teammate. I even won games where somebody was intentionally feeding on my team because he drew so much attention on his person that I could push like a berserker in that time. That's just how it is. Try to make the best out of bad situations. Being successful in League of Legends is a lot about about making the best out of bad situations. As your ELO will climb, you will get better teammates on, and the team interaction will get a lot better. And I personally enjoy the ELO towards Platinum a lot more than I enjoy the gameplay of Silver or Bronze or Gold games, because it's a lot more fun to play League of Legends with your teammates interacting with you and actual team play happening, but it's also a lot more complicated and a lot more demanding. So if you have fun with team play and want to have more team action, well, just focus on yourself. Take those things I was blubbering around here into your consideration if you want to do something like that, because I'm pretty sure none of the things I'm saying here are completely wrong. Because there is not really much mechanical skill needed to achieve at least Gold 5. It's really not that you have to be a godlike player to achieve at least Gold. If you can manage your champion really well and keep a cool head and perform like I tried to explain here, you can reach platinum easily. That's how I reached platinum, by the way. But I also think that you can, with proper skills on your champion and maintaining a good attitude and playing with your team, being forgiving about mistakes, going with the team flow, and keeping your own game in mind, you can reach diamond, at least. The rest is up to you. So, thanks for your time. I know that was a lot of content, and feel free to leave a comment about that, because I really enjoy making this kind of videos, but I also like to have some feedback about that, because these are opinions I have derived during the last 7 years of playing League of Legends, and I feel like these things, when I am able to keep them up, make me win a lot. I've maintained several seasons with a 60-ish% win rate in ranked, so I think it works. But it's of course only one side of the medal. You need to get better at playing League of Legends at the end of the day to really achieve a high ELO, no matter what. These things I was talking about here are just the icing on a cake you have to bake. That's really important to point it out. I don't want to make false illusions here about you have to put in some work, but in my opinion, whenever I have to play low elo games, most of the time we keep losing not because I'm having the worst players on my team. I feel like we're losing because the people are just freaking out, going on solo missions. Nobody's believing in the fact that this game might be actually still winnable. And they're just busy playing a chat game instead of playing League of Legends. And these are more of the kind of reasons why we're actually losing in lower ELO. I feel like the players are most of the time at a roughly evenish level, but yeah, the psychology kicks in. So master the psychology behind this game, and you will win by default a lot more than you would if you're just tilting or angry or something like that. I mean, this happens to anybody, and I feel like League of Legends is a very exhausting game, and after a few matches, it's always a good idea to take a break and regain your focus, because this game is really exhausting. There's a lot going on the screen. There are a lot of interactions you have to take care of, and give your head the time to cool down. Also, drink enough while gaming. That's actually also important. Well, these are none of the 5 things of the topic of the video, of course, but also consider them as little gimmicks. So this game is actually close to being won, and I want to wrap up the video also with this. And I hope you guys enjoyed the time watching this, and yeah, I wish you all good luck with climbing, and stay positive with the League of Legends. And let's just run through the last seconds and see you guys. And yes, with a proper team I am that awesome. Was a wonderful game.